Good afternoon.
VBI as a guest speaker.
Good afternoon.
I will ask you a few questions regarding the new railway business in Belgium. We know that nowadays the cargo traffic is privatized. Can you explain a little bit how does it work concretely? Is there any slots like in the airline industry?
Yeah, so there is a European decree which has been translated into the Belgian law and into all the countries also, but here in Belgium, so it has been translated to the law, and by this, so there is then a separation between the infrastructure manager, which is managing the network, like on the road or on the river and so on, and the operator. So now they cannot be anymore in one and single company. Which means that a newcomer, a new company can buy or rent locomotive, for instance, in the cargo industry, and have some wagon to make some transport. And by this way, so they request passes, because slot in the airline, we call it train passes. So it's a big business, because you can request a pass for one time. You can request a pass for 10 trains a day, and you can even request a 5-year contract, frame contract. So there is a big activity, and now more and more it is also an international business, which means that it's not necessary to have a pass in Belgium, but it has to be interconnected with the pass in France or in Germany and so on. And there is also a regulator which has been appointed, which is covering, like in all the liberalized industry, to see that all the rules are respected by all the operators.
Those new operators.
Yeah.
I see. There are plenty of developments of high-speed connections between main European cities. Nevertheless, the line between Brussels and Luxembourg still takes more than 2 hours. Will we see further development on this line to reduce the time between those two capitals?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a plan which is now being performed. The first things to do was to improve and upgrade the infrastructure, which is being done for the moment. In the year 2000 there was a question to see whether we would build a new high-speed network also in the Ardennes, but the cost was really much more important than all the revenue we could get, because Paris, Luxembourg is not Paris, it's not London, so it's a big city. It's a big city, so the potential is less, and also there are a lot of hills, so it is very costly. So what we do now, we upgrade, in Frabel is upgrading the tracks until Luxembourg. By this way we are going to win more or less 25 minutes. And we have a plan to operate a new kind of technology of train, sort of what we call the tilting train, which will on top of this also be able to win a 10 minutes. So by this way we will reach Brussels to Luxembourg in more or less the same journey time like Amsterdam, like Rotterdam, like London, like Paris and so on. So it will be then like a European capital linked to Brussels.
Yes, I'm sure that many customers will be very happy to hear this,
absolutely.
This new high-speed rail connections originated in Japan. Japan offers high service and safety standards. As far as my knowledge, they have never had any accidents for more than 40 years almost. Besides, the design of Shinkansen rolling stocks are very creative and attractive. My question is, do European companies benchmark with this Japan offer?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have had already several contacts with our Japanese colleague. So they are benchmarking seminar with Japan Rail. The difference is the density of the population, and so they have other type of train. And for instance, so it's a little bit surprising that the industry is not yet answering to tendering which we are doing. So in the car you see a lot of Japanese car. In the trucks you see also a lot of Japanese trucks, you see buses and so on, but in the train, so they are not yet operated in Europe. Yes. The first which is going to be operated is the Hitachi between the Kent and London, which is going to be operated this year. with a 225 km/h train, and it will be the first and most probably not the last one to operate in Europe.
I see. Okay. High-speed connection receive priorities in the investments, and so the train and car concept has disappeared from the market. Do you see a possibility of rebirth of such a business by maybe private companies?
So for the moment there are still private operators which do it for the moment from the Netherlands. So in Belgium it has been totally cancelled. There are still operators starting from France, from Lille, and other one from the south of the Netherlands. They are using rather old type of wagon, which means that they can still operate until then there is a big refreshment or operational technical operation to be done on the wagon. The issue is that this is a very niche market and also a very season linked market, and it is very difficult to make some money with this business. So there is a demand, quite sure, mainly with the retired people who would like to prefer to have their car and so on and so on. But the price we have to charge for being self-supporting is so huge that we are afraid there is in the future a very difficult profitability on this kind of market.
So it's better to take the train and rent the
voilà,
car.
voilà. This is what we propose, and so we have also a program where the train plus car is included in your ticket or with reduced facilities.
Yes. Okay. Do Thalys overbook trains, and if so, are they subject to European regulations? And this would be my last question.
Yeah. So as of this 1st January 2010, there is also a new regulation which has been enforced. It is the passenger right regulation. Previously it was much more national based. Now there is an international rule that is available, and it is just compulsory for everyone. So we have to take care of the overbooking. So with Thalys we have never oversized the overbooking. So it was just that we never sell a ticket if we have not either a seat or a tap-up seat, because you are on the platform, you have some rescue seats, and so we never go over. So even if everyone is coming, so we still have everyone is still seated. Not in a very comfortable seat maybe, but at least being seated. And so for us it's very important to fill the train, but also not to lose the customer who is coming on the last minute, paying a lot of money, who is a faithful customer and who has to stand. We consider it as a not service, so we are not doing it.
Mr. Jadot, thank you very much.
Thank you very much too.